Hi friends, are you ready for a reading? So today I'm going to be using a deck that I picked up this weekend while teaching yoga at the Cat Cafe Per Vida here in Costa Rica. It's called the Kitten Deck, Kitten Tarot. And it is the cutest deck, which we probably might need for this reading because it's shaping up to be a love reading and maybe not the happiest of love readings. So if that sounds intriguing, or maybe you've been waffling. That's what Spirit is saying right now. Waffling, wobbling. Should I stay or should I go? And that song is playing in my head. Should I stay or should I go? And there's a lot of kind of sadness wrapped up in this. So I thought that the kitten deck would be the perfect one to use for it because it is inherently cute and that might soften the blow a little bit. Anyways, like I said, Spirit is bringing through this idea of waffling. Should you stay or should you go? And there's a lot of sadness wrapped up in here. You've got Five of Cups coming out. And Five of Cups is about that deep sorrow, the deep sadness. And so it's almost like you don't want to walk away on several fronts. This might be financial, this might be just logistical if you've got kids with somebody. This might just be you don't know how to live without that person. And so there's a deep sadness here of not only maybe not feeling the relationship anymore or having been hurt so many times, but there's also a real fear that's coming up of like, I don't even know how I could do this, right? You've also got the Lovers coming out reversed, which is pretty significant, right? So Lovers coming out reversed along with King of Swords and Ten of Swords. Now that is an unfortunate combo, but again, if you've been deciding, you've been waffling between the should you stay or should you go, and that's something that only you can decide, but the cards certainly seem to say that something needs to change, whether it's the relationship itself or aspects within the relationship, but something is not flowing, something is not quite right. It's like there's the spark, the chemistry, it just isn't there. The energy has been off is what they're really showing me right now. The energy has really been off. And it's giving you the idea that maybe it is time, right? All things come to an end, even relationships, even ways within our relationship. So again, this could be for some of you completely walking away, and for some of you there might be a real call to really tend to a relationship, to they're showing me like a butterfly. It's almost like transform it into something else. There's like a moment of transformation that's coming because something has died, something has decayed a little bit in this relationship. And with this Ten of Swords coming out, it's like it's the end of the cycle, right? It's almost like you can't go on with this anymore. And so Spirit's really bringing through like you really need to use your rational mind is kind of what they're saying. It's almost like you don't want to get caught up in the emotion of it, right? Because then you're never going to take the steps that you need to take. Again, whether that's completely leaving or making some drastic changes within your relationship. If you're too wrapped up in the emotion is what they're showing me right now, then you're never going to be able to make this decision. You really need to step into the thinking mind, the rational mind. And it's also like they want to say like take it one step at a time. Again, for some of you this could be a really significant big change, especially if you got kids, you got a house together, you got a life together. Dismantling that and figuring out how to create something on your own can be extremely overwhelming. So Spirit is like really put on your thinking cap, is what they're saying right now. Put on your thinking cap and think about those steps. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. And it's almost like when you do that, if you can just focus on the steps, just focus on what you are doing in this moment, then you're going to find that you're in a completely different place much sooner than you had imagined. So Spirit really wants to bring through the fact that you need to be thinking very logically, very rationally right now, and to not get caught up in your emotions, not get caught up in the doom and gloom. It's okay. Things end, ways of being end, and that just makes space for something else to come through. So it's like something is being called in that is maybe more suitable for you, but you've got to walk away from whatever you're encapsulated is the word that they're giving me right now, which is very interesting. Encapsulated in currently. So yeah, this is an end of a cycle. You've got Ten of Swords coming out here. Ten of Swords is all about that end of cycle, that end of, being stabbed in the back, being stabbed in the heart. And again, it's almost like they're bringing through the energy again, right? The energy is not off. And not only is it not, is the energy off, but it's also draining you. Like keeping up this facade is what they really want to say, is like really draining you. And it's time for it to end. It's time for a new cycle to begin. And again, you can't get there unless you're logically moving forward to those next steps that you need to do. And this is going to feel much more like work, right? You've got Two of Pentacles coming out, which is really interesting. And it's almost like they're showing me Two of Swords currently, which is all about making a decision. But in the Pentacles version of that would be like, this is going to be work. This is not going to be necessarily the easiest thing that you've done, and not necessarily like physically hard, but just hard to walk away, right? It's hard to walk away, especially when you love somebody. Even if it isn't working out, the energy isn't right, it's still really hard to walk away from that. So you've also got Three of Cups, Strength, Knight of Swords, and Six of Wands coming out. That's a really interesting combination, and it's a lovely combination. This is celebrated, right? This has been something that's been coming for some time, right? You've got Three of Cups coming out here. This is something that your team on the other side, and they're even bringing through like in the physical, like friends, families, this is something that will be celebrated. And it's almost like a finally you've shaken it off, because this, again, it's like everybody else can kind of read the energy, and maybe you've been a little too wrapped up into the emotions of it, into that attraction. Like the opposites attract is what they're telling me right now. But it's like, this is going to be celebrated, this decision, whether this again is moving forward into something else, or it's moving forward with making significant changes. Like this is a very celebrated move. And you've got Strength and Knight of Swords, right? You have the strength to do this. You are more than capable of doing this, and don't let anybody kind of get into your head, even yourself, about how like you'll never find anybody else, or I'm too old, or all those stories that we tell ourselves. It is never too late. And they're really kind of wanting me to bring through, not second guessing yourself, not doubting that something better for you is out there, right? And not only that, but you're strong enough to get to that better outcome if you can move forward, right? I think it's really interesting with the King of Swords as well as the Knight of Swords. This is a very fast moving knight, and it's like, again, they're bringing through the logic. You need to take logical steps, one step, then another step, then another step. And it's like you're going to find yourself in a whole new horizon. So it's like you need to make these steps, and they're really kind of urging you to make them quickly. It's like you've dithered around long enough is what they're saying. And this is feeling very much like grandparent energy that's coming through right now. So I don't know if somebody's grandmother is speaking right now, but it's almost like you've dithered along long enough. You're kind of a little abrupt about it, but in a loving way. And it's like, it's time to get moving. It's time to move into that better thing, right? You've got Six of Wands coming out, which generally is going to be all about like moving forward, moving into that exciting phase of life. Again, they're bringing through excitement. This is going to be like a happy change down the road, but it doesn't feel happy right now. Okay, so if you've been waffling back and forth, should I change this relationship, or should I leave this relationship? The cards are looking very good for some significant change is actually needed and being called for. And not only that, but it's going to be supported not only on the spiritual side of things, but there's going to be a lot of like enthusiasm for this and support for this. And they want to bring through to seek that support out. It's like, I think people would be more than happy to help you in this situation, but it's going to call for you to be a little bit vulnerable and reach out. But it's like, there's going to be a lot of like a breath of relief when this happens. So I know it feels really hard right now, and it's super painful right now, but just keep moving one step in front of the other, and I promise you, you will find yourself in so much better place. If you'd like to book a reading with me, you can check the link on my bio. My new website is live. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Be blessed.